One of the most successful people in the world is real gross of PIMCO and manages $3 trillion in bonds, and he's remarkable because he turns off everything most of the day. He doesn't check his email, he doesn't check social media, even turns off his phone, and yet he never misses an important contact, never misses important communication, and runs one of the biggest loan portfolios in the world with no electronic communication. Yes, and people don't realize that we've entered into an age today where many people are missing most of their possibilities for success and happiness because of electronic interruptions. They become almost addicted to interruptions, and there's a hole almost every week there's something in the Harvard Business Review or Wall Street Journal and the psychological journals talking about what this attraction to distraction is doing to our mind, because the key to success is the ability to focus. You cannot focus, you can't do anything. The key to success is the ability to start and complete a job. It's as simple as that. Task completion is the difference between success and failure. High income, low income, satisfaction and frustration. It all comes down to task completion. So most people, only 3% of adults have goals, and those 3% own the world. They make 10 times as much in their jobs on average as people without goals. So it'd be the same as going downtown in a busy city to go to a restaurant but not getting the address, and you notice, well, it's downtown somewhere. So what do? You just head for downtown and you just drive around. 97 but 80% of more people do that with their lives clear about where they want to go. For example, you say, well, how much do you want to earn on a year-by-year basis this year, next year, the year after? And then you come back to the present and you say, well, all right, what we have to do to earn that amount. And then you work out a variety of different things you could do and work on a plan, and you've been working on your plan, but additional skills will you require. How will you? Where you'll need to focus. What results will you need to get wherever the money come from? By thinking these things through, you actually increase the likelihood of achieving the goal. A guarantee, but the likelihood by about 10 times. All over the world where I teach these principles, people come back to me and say, I cannot believe the difference in my life since I began practicing goal setting. I'll say, you know, there's several ways you can double your income quite quickly. And I'll give you some of them during the course of the day, and I feel I'll let me just give you one right now, and I'll give you some more later. And I called the AB method. I said, I want you to imagine that you have 2 types of tasks, 8 tasks, and B tasks. All right. A tasks are those tasks that move you towards something that you say you really want, something that's important to you, a goal. All right. And be tasked, or tasked, that not only don't move you towards something you want, they just move you away. So every day you have to ask, is this a task or a B task? And then do only A tasks, don't do B tasks. at all, and that'll double your income in the following week and double it again later. And people just go, how one of my favorite little comments is, what kids put on their SMs is SMH. That's my favorite. Shaking my head that people in the honest go, shaking my head, you mean if I only do the most important things that move me toward my most important roles, I don't know anything else but that I'll double my income. Yes, you can all go home now. 10 minutes into the seminar for a one-day similar, you can all go home now. You bet your money's worth. What does this require? I said, well, it's called the D word. And what is the D word? Discipline. You know what to do. You know what's your most important tasks. You know if what you're doing is moving you toward that, you just have to have the discipline to do only a tabs until you're all caught up with your A test. Then you can do your B chess, your low value useless time wasting fun task. But I can promise you this, you'll never get caught up with your A tasks. I started studying time management for more than 30 years ago. I was asked to do a program on it, and one of the things I found is that people get into a rhythm, either positive or negative. The positive rhythm is where they start with their big task. The negative is where they sharper little tasks. So the rule is, never give in to the temptation to clear up small things first, because small things are like rabbits, they multiply. And if you start off with small things, and you can try to clear up all your small things before you get to your big thing. Now it's 5 or 6 o'clock and you're burned out and tired and you're stressed, and all you've done is little things all day. So what you do instead is you flip it over, and before you check your email, before you do anything, just simply start and do your most important task and complete it. And once you've decided that this is your most important task, then everything else is a relative waste of time based on your own definition. So if you're not working on that task, you are to a degree just simply wasting your time and your life by your own definition. I'm a teacher, so I'm a speaker, and so I'm always thinking, how can I faster what I find this my very best clients are either entrepreneurs or solopreneurs. They're very much the same, and business owners. So what do they want to do? Well, they want to increase their sales and profitability. That's one common denominator of every one of his, you and me. We all want to sell more stuff and earn more money. So I focus on helping people change their thinking, their planning, their strategies, their focus, so that they're making more sales faster and easier, and they're earning more money from earning greater profits. And today, for example, one of my favorite subjects has to do with business model reinvention, because every company has a business model. You have one and I have one, and your business model is actually your profit model, and it is the steps that you take from first thing in the morning is what you do all day long in your business to generate profits. What we find is there's 12 parts to a profit model, and if one of those parts is broken, like in an engine or a Motor, then the whole motor slows down, or if it's a breakdown in a car, the whole car stops. It's a useless hunk of battle, sitting by the side of the road because you've got one valve that's out in your carburetor. So anyway, so I teach people now, these are the 12 parts, and this is how you hold them up and look at them like a repairman, and to make sure that the part is working well, and then you put them back together again. And one change in your business model can transform your sales in profitability. One simple change you may accomplished, like the Apple business model with the Apple iPod on iPhone. They changed the entire world by making it possible to buy a single song from a single place, iTunes, and download it through the ether and listen to it within seconds. Have you ever had experience? You hear a song, you say, I like that song, you'll flip, it'll keep your phone, you know. Have you done that and you're playing it? I mean, you think you can do it now, you do it all the time. 10 years ago it was complete, never been possible in human history, and so they changed the entire business model. What happened? Within 2 years all the CD stores are bought out of business. The whole business model of the world music industry transformed with that one new change in the business model of how of accessing songs one at a time rather than a CD at a time. Anyway, so you have to look at your business and say, I wonder if there's a different or better business model. There's 55 business models that you can use, and most companies, your company, my company, is using one. And where do we get this laundry back into it? We didn't pre-plan our business model. Our business model is usually developed by default, is which we did this and we did that and we tried that, seemed like a good idea, so we'll do it. So our business model is like a default model. Did you have the wrong business model, you could pan your head all day long and not make any money. I started my career in this 3 decades ago. It begins with the understanding that every person is a potential genius, is they have a mind that has 100 billion cells. In each of these 100 billion cells is connected to as many as 20,000 others, so basically it's 100 billion to the 20,000th power. Now you don't have to be a mathematician. Mathematicians, you know, that's a lot of ideas that you could have. The fact is that the average person can create more thoughts than all the molecules in the known universe. That's how smart they are. However, unless they tap into it, it's like a muscle that is not used physically. If you never exercise, your muscles become soft. If you never tax your brain reading, use it, then your brain becomes something. If your brain becomes soft, you slip into but it's called a comfort zone, which is a neural groove, and it's sort of like if you've ever been bullied and your rolling ball has a gutter on either side, so you throw the ball. If it gets into the gutter, it just goes all the way down to the end and drops off. Well, most people have what you might call gutters in their brains, and they think a thought and not that just takes one single course of action, collect their comfort zone, and they don't even think of doing anything differently. So The 20 idea method is very simple. You take a goal or a problem. And I said if you want to double your income, then you simply write at the top of the page, how can I double my income in the next 12 months? It's a very simple practical question that demands practical responses, not how can I make more money or how can I be rich. How can I double my income? Or if you have a clear idea, if you're earning $50,000 a year, you say, how can I earn $100,000 by this date, and you give a date. 12 months from now, okay, and sometimes one idea, almost like an oil gusher, goes blam and it changes your life. One idea that comes from really working your creative powers will change your life. More people have become wealthy using this 20 idea method than any other method ever discovered, and all it takes is a piece of paper and the discipline. Just sit there and write down 20 answers. 2 ways to unlock your creativity. It's interesting. One is to focus intensely on the goal or the problem, and the other is to not think about it at all, is to get your mind completely busy elsewhere, and it's almost like the idea will suddenly hit you bang, like that light bulb that goes off into cartoons. So those are the 2. Focus 100% of your energies on solving the problem, or just think about something completely different, and either one will work. Aristotle said that the ultimate aim of all of human activity is happiness. Everything we do has a reason behind it. And the reason behind that, and the reason behind that, but he calls it the premium mobile. The first moving factor in all of human activity is the desire to be happy in some way. Now you can determine how successful you are as a person by how much of the time you're happy. You know, it's not how much money you earn, because there's a rule: there is no joy in things. There is no joy in things. All your joy comes from your interactions, your relationships with others. So therefore, your job is to organize your life, not so that you can do more work, so that you can get all your work done, and then you can spend time with the most important people in your life, where your joy comes from. And so in relationships we find there's only one thing that really counts, and that's face-to-face communication. It's interesting, they have this stuff online, but it was 20 things that women wish men knew in relationships, pictures and explanations. One of them was that women like to be face to face with the man in their life. And I always think about that, because whenever Barbara and I go to a restaurant, we always sit across from each other. Whenever we have dinner or anything, we always sit where we can see each other's face. And then many restaurants have these bench tables, you know, where people sit sideways. So they're using that as an example. A woman does not want to sit sideways, so she has to basically twist her neck out of shape to see the other person well. When you come home at night, it's the same thing. Your children's actual personality is formed in their first 3 to 5 years by the amount of FaceTime, direct eye contact that their parents give them during their formative years. And it's not eye contact when You're watching TV where you're all in the same room, or you're checking your email or your iPhone, and so on and so forth. It's when you put aside all distractions, turn off your TV, and just sit face to face. I say head to head, knee to knee, heart to heart. Those are the moments that build great relationships. More relationships collapse because of lack of face time than perhaps for any other reason, and most people don't even know it. They said, well, I'm at home every night. What are you doing watching TV? I say, well, you might as well rent a motel 6 downtown and check in there, because that's how much value you are in your family, either city watching television. So what are the rules? I say, when you come home, leave things off, leave things off. If they're on, turn them off, turn things off, or leave things on.